evening, with 3 times it's a chazakah, I'd like to express the appreciation in the name of Merkez Linyonei Chinuch to all of those that have made this Kinus the success that it is, to the executive VAD, to the coordinating VAD, to the Hebrew-speaking VAD, to the guest program VAD, to the Shluchos, to the Kinus Hashluchos from the Shluchim office, and most importantly to the parents who are here tonight, and to the Jewish community of Crown Heights, which opens their hearts and their homes with tremendous hospitality for the Shluchos. May Hashem grant to all of them the fulfillment of all their heart's desires for the good. It was stated before that we're now 200 years since the Alter Rebbe. On Yutes Kislev this year, I traveled together with Rabbi Kusil Yehuda George Rohr to the opening of a dream of his father's, which was to build a heichel in Hadich for the Alter Rebbe. It always bothered Rab Shmuel Olav HaSholem, who passed away just a few months ago, that when people come to Hadich, and Chassidim from all over the world, not only Lubavitchers, come to Hadich, there's no place that is worthy to receive them. And he built a beautiful, beautiful building. And we traveled to Hadich on Yutes Kislev to inaugurate for Chanukas Habayis of this beautiful Heichel Admor HaZaken. I was standing in the oil of the Alter Rebbe, and I came up to the Chanukas Habayis, and they called upon me to say a few words. What could someone say standing in the Daladamas of the Alter Rebbe? What could someone wish for? And traveling to Hadich on the plane, I was reading the Toldos of the Alter Rebbe and the Yemei HaChasidim of the beginnings of Chabad Chassidus. And what I saw there was a constant, the love of the Chassidim to the Rebbe, the care and concern of Chassidim to the Rebbe, and the unity of the Hasidic family, and the love from one to another. And I stood up and I said that Avas HaChasidim that there was by the Alter Rebbe, when it was in the fledgling moments of the Hasidic movement of Chabad, today when Chabad is spread out all over the world in a global network, that care and love for the Rebbe is prevalent, and we see it with our own eyes. But the love of Hasidim one for the other, we should see in a tangible way. And I come to this Kinus Hashluchos, and I see the love, the care, the concern of each and every one of you one for another, the bonding, the things that people share with one another, that they are part and parcel, and there's something that unites everyone, and that is the Mishaleach, the Rebbe. Yesterday was 25 years since the Istalkus of the Rebbetzin. Published a book called The Rabbanis now, and in it there's a story that when the Rebbe and the Rebbetzin were in Paris, the Frierdiker Rebbe turned to our Rabbi Meir Shochetman and asked him to do something for the Rebbe which needed great hishtadlus, which needed a lot of work to do it, to make it through. And he describes what had to be done. And the Rebbe went together with him, and the Frierdiker Rebbe was in Paris at that moment. And Baruch Hashem, they were successful. When they found out that they were successful, when they were notified that their mission was crowned with success, Rab Meir turns to the Rebbe and he says, let us go and share this with the Frierdiker Rebbe. We must go right now and tell the Rebbe. The Rebbe looked at him and he said to him that first, and al pi halacha, I must go tell my wife. And they went to the Rebbetzin, and when she opened the door and saw the smile on their faces, she said, "No, so you were successful." And her joy was so evident. And only then did they go to tell the Frierdiker Rebbe. Anyone that knows, and each one of you know, the Frierdiker Rebbe had one chassid. That was the Rebbe. The Rebbe had one chassid. That was the Rebbetzin. But what the Rebbe, his devotion to the Frierdiker Rebbe, was we saw everything was Asker al Tzion, I'll pray by the Tzion. Was the Rebbe the Shver. He came to a moment where there was good news to share. The Rebbe said, first I must go tell it to the Rebbetzin. What a lesson that is to us on so many levels. To the shluchim that are listening to this, you know, they say on the side of every great shluchah stands a shliach. So we have to, but I'm sure some of them are watching this tonight. You know, they deserve a round of applause for the babysitting. For the shluchim that are listening to this, we have to learn how to prioritize. The Rebbe is our life. Shlichus is what we are dedicated to. Shluchim, shluchis, children of shluchim, this is what we dedicate our life to. Whether it is in Africa, whether it is in Asia, whether it is in Europe, whether it's in the United States, whether it's in the Caribbean, whether it's in South America, wherever it is, to those that are shluchim in the smallest cities, to those that are shluchim in the biggest metropolitan areas. Shlichus is our life. Nevertheless, the Rebbe gives us a lesson. And it's a lesson based on the Torah portion that we read yesterday, when Yisro comes and he says, Moshe Rabbeinu, Novel Tibel, you're going to continue on to this. You're only going to do your shlichus. You're not going to delegate. You're not going to give authority to someone else. You're not going to share. You're not going to be able to hold out. So the Rebbe says, I didn't send only you. I send a shluchah together with you. I send a shluchah together with you to be able to fulfill my shlichus in its entirety. And each one of you, the shliach and the shluchah, have their shlichus to fulfill, to make this the reality that it is. This next Shabbos we're going to read about the Machzis HaShekel, in which we learn that as much as we are, we're only a Machzis, we're only 50%. And next to the tzaddik, the word Machzis has 5 letters. The word tzaddik is in the middle. Those that are next to it have life, and those that are further away from it have the opposite of it. But right next to the Rebbe was the Chaya, the Rebbetzin Chaya Mushke was right next to the tzaddik. In everything that the Rebbe did, the Rebbetzin was there with him. So the Rebbe tells us we have to worry a little bit about our families also. We shouldn't forget that the first one that we share good news with is with the shluchah, with the rabban, with your wife. We shouldn't forget that as much as we are engrossed in fulfilling our shlichus, the story of the Alter Rebbe, we cannot fail to hear the cry of the child as he admonished the Mittler Rebbe, to hear the cry of our own children, to hear the cry of those that are closest to us, and to see that they are fulfilled so that we can fulfill our shlichus in its entirety. We're going home from here today, we see that unit, the unity of everything that we run, and as you board your flights and you return home, you go back with this feeling of the chassidim zanenein mishpacha, the love, the concern of the shluchim for the Rebbe and the Rebbetzin, and wanting to fulfill the mission, and the love and the care and the concern of each one of you for one another. And for your Mekuravos, for those lay leaders that are here today with us. We see their care and their concern. So the Kinus Hashluchos does not only express our unity when we are together, this unity and the collective and united force, we take that energy back with each and every one of us. I give thanks to the Almighty Hashem Yisbarich, that b'chesed chinam, I was zeichet to be part of many of your shlichusim, to be there, and the Eibusha should help. We should be able to always help one another. The Eibusha should grant each and every one of you. You know, the world, I walked in here today, and someone asked me what's happening here. And I said there's a convention of shluchos, of rebbetzins, of rabbis. I couldn't explain this guy what a rebbetzin was. It was a little difficult for me to do it. So he turns to me and he says, what? How many are going to be here? I said, about 2,700, 2,800. On Super Bowl Sunday, this is all you have to do. So I turned to him and I said, you know what? It's a big lesson. Each one of you, what is a Super Bowl? What is football in general? They tackle, then you throw a few feet. Then you throw another few feet. Then you throw, and then somebody comes and throws it over the line. I'm not into sports, but this is the little bit that I know about it. You people, the shluchos sitting here tonight, you do touchdowns 30, 40, 50 times a day. You are the winners of the greatest Super Bowl of all, to be able to throw that ball over the goal line so that we finally merit that which the Rebbe promised us, that this is the last generation of Golus, and it'll be the first generation of the Geula. May we witness it here tonight and be reunited with the Rebbe and the Rebbetzin, with the Geula Amitis Vashlema now. God bless you. Thank you very much.